Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. I wanted to jump in and say hello to a lot of our newest members. Hi. I try to go live in here Mondays and Thursdays, but lately that's not working out. And I just jump in here when I can. So I think I went live on Remembrance Day, and then I had, and then I wanted to jump back in today to chat with a few of you because I've been having some great conversations around this thing called thought leadership. Like when you step out into the world, right, with your message, which is what everyone in here wants to do. Not only where do you go with that, where do you take it, but man, that requires so much more than just confidence and a really good, um, book cover. It's not like those things give you this free pass. So today I wanted to cover a couple things about the four things that thought leadership requires. So it's different than when you think. And it's also easier than you think. So I just, how you think like becoming an expert, it's like you get the book and, you've been on stage a few times and like, boom, you're a thought leader. It doesn't mean that person has built any authority around what they're saying necessarily. Okay. And as you know, in today's day and age and the way messaging and marketing and communications is going through the pandemic, we're done with the old way. People don't want to hear the same messaging. They don't want to hear the same stuff. They don't want to be sold in the same way. We are done. We are done. We are done with those kinds of quote leaders. And you know this, but I don't want that to put fear in some of you that still have a message worth sharing with this world. Trust me when I say, when you are able to reach into your head, which is full of maybe more ideas than you want, or full of just words that aren't clear, they're still fuzzy, don't know where to focus. When you're able to pull out those things, put it on paper in a clear and succinct way, and then the plan, the confidence, and then the plan starts to build for there about how am I going to get this to people? I promise you there is value and worth, right? There's a place for that is my point. But I wanted to take a moment to say that, it's not saying those ways don't work, but you don't have to sit there crafting brilliant things and trying all these new ways. It can be much more simple if you just stopped for a moment and looked at your message. So that's the first step before thought leadership, but it also requires other things. So in this, and you're listening, if you're here and you have knowledge and expertise, of course, can we close our eyes, snap our fingers and make you an expert? No, absolutely not. I'm not a genie. However, what you do, the first step of what you should have is that knowledge, right? Is the expertise. Like, I've been doing this a long time. I am very passionate about this. I have real life experience, or I'm better at this than most people, but other people haven't figured that out, or I just don't know how to say that to people without sounding braggy or showy. Don't worry about the how, okay? If you have the knowledge and expertise, that is the biggest step, right? That is the core thing. You may have expertise in a lot of areas. I'm not going to get into this right now, but there's a way to sift through and leave the rest and pluck out the best. Okay. That's a process. That's a system. Don't worry about how. And the second thing is the experience that you bring to the table, right? You have to be able to back up these claims. It's the experience and the research to kind of go with your claims or what you're trying to say. I'm not so much concerned about you sounding like everybody else, which you would not if you did this process correctly. But I'm more concerned about what you're bringing to the table. What has led you to this idea that you do have something new that people need to hear? Okay, that's what I'm more concerned about when we work together, or as a thought leadership. And the third thing is very important. It's this cutting edge thinking. Now, this is also the hardest for people. This is also what stops people from jumping into this world of thought leadership or taking the next step or getting fearful and scared and I'm not good enough. It's this cutting edge thinking because they don't know if their ideas are original or not. So, or you get pause when someone else uses your language. You're like, shoot, can't say that anymore. That's what I'm talking about. You have to be able to generate these effective and impactful messaging and messages around what you do. and what you say and how you think, these new, better ideas. Some of you are sitting there going, I don't know if this idea is better than what's out there right now. You need to talk about that. You need to get it off the table. There are certain questions that if you answer correctly, then we absolutely know if they're better. Get it out there. We'll help you package it. It's ready. Yeah. But if there's other questions that when you find the answer, you're like, you know what? You may have to do some digging. You may have to go out and get a little more experience here. Or you may have to go out and not talk to these people. It's these people over here that need to hear this. So there's always a way around it, right? And it starts with a conversation. I have these conversations all the time. And the best part of my week are breakthrough calls. I kid you not. Actually, the best part of the week is also bringing my clients to the other side of that in our calls. But it's these really enlightening discussions that I get to have with what starts as complete strangers into these moments of wisdom and clarity, of reassuring exactly where they need to be, right, with their message. Anyway, cutting edge thinking, right? That's the hardest one, but you have to be able to generate new ideas, right? Not just what's already out there. And you might already be on it, just needs a little tweaking. And the fourth part is like the time and the effort to kind of put this into a plan, right? You're going to need to know, is this worth spending all my time on? Because it does take that dedication. Is it worth letting a couple things go to get where I need to be? And that's like a later discussion. But right now, if you're sitting on what feels like a pile of mismatched evidence or experience, I promise you that you can have a discussion in order to bring some certain things to light to understand if this is where you need to be. And the last thing I want to point out is, to be a thought leader, there's a difference that I want you to understand. It's knowing how to then take those messages out into the world and get published. This is the critical piece, okay? It's the crown jewel of thought leadership. You need to know how to take all your brilliance and actually go out and speak to editors and publishers about why it's important that they should feel this way. This is important enough to put out into the world and help you achieve this, okay? Because thought leaders are published, right? Thought leaders have no problem putting their thoughts out into the world. They don't stay in their head. And if our thoughts aren't out into the world, those ideas can't spark in someone. They can't grow. They can't make you money. They can't create opportunity that wasn't there before. It's just super critical. So attainable for everyone, but yeah, there's a few steps. And then eventually, guys, as I say in a lot of these, give you a lot of examples, when you are speaking in terms of being a thought leader in your own space, in your own right, in your own lane, with your own language, and that confidence comes, you're going to then see the feedback. You're going to then feel it bounce off the walls right back at you. Because where you focus your energy, you're going to get that energy back, right? Where you point your sail, that's where you're going to go. And I just want to encourage you guys to stop pointing your sails in all directions or throwing the darts and hoping something hits. You may be on it. There may be one thing just kind of niggling at you that you need to nail down. And that is what this group is all about. That is what I'm here to do. So I want to offer you guys that in this group, at least, I do free breakthrough calls, and we get there. We go there. We go and find things that may not have resonated with you before, or that you may not have even noticed before, but they're plucked out of the universe, this shiny jewel that you've been sitting on for eons, and it's ready. It's ready to go. It's ready to get out there, get polished, and do its work in the world. So if you feel that that is you, I encourage you to use the link that I'll post above. I have no problem. And if this is new for you in the group, just kind of look around. I mean, I come in here live twice a week, but there's also trainings. There's some past interviews. There's tips and tools you can actually take away and use. But it's really, I want your piece of this and the discussion and the journey you're going on too. So hopefully you'll feel really comfortable sharing and introducing yourself, because we're kind of all on this journey together. And yeah, it's fun to see how people are going along that are actually getting used to doing this, and where they're ending up. So I thank you so much. And let's keep learning about this thing called thought leadership. And if you are certain, or you're even not even sure that you have something worth sharing, let's talk about it. DM me or get on the phone. I will. I'll talk to you guys later. Remember, next week I'm coming to you with a really cool interview. It's all about when you're in this space of thought leadership and you have all this extra info and ideas coming at you, because it does happen that fast. Ideas come faster and faster and faster. It's knowing where to put them, right? It's old way versus the new way your brain has to think when you're in this role as a thought leader. That's what we're coming to you with next week when I speak with Matt DeMeo. And we'll do a live little interview here, Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern. And I'll jump on before that, check in with you guys, and share all cool stuff that I'm finding for you. Okay, so introduce yourself if you haven't on the welcome post already. And I look forward to getting to know each and every one of you. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your day and enjoy heading into your weekend. Take care. Bye.